Long live the king.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Mr. H here for a video in the world of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, you read the title, we're going to be discussing Rokmutul. And there's been a lot of videos out there about this particular kaiju, and there's also been some videos about the Mountain Kaiju and their similarities. I'm going to try my best not to retread a lot of what has probably already been said. And I will say this straight from the top, Rokmutul was designed by the concept artist Josh Nizzi. I have actually reached out to Josh Nizzi, but unfortunately he has declined comment at this point in time. I wanted to reach out to him to discuss his thoughts, his reasoning behind the design process, and just what overall lore he had chosen to make behind the character, or the kaiju should I say, of Rokmutul. But I will say this, is that his choice to not pass comment on this does actually add a lot more weight behind the theory that Rokmutul will actually be in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, as the Mountain Kaiju, which is, there's a theory which is really building a lot of steam now. So Rokmutul himself was a piece of art which was, obviously submitted by Josh Nizzi and Frank Hong early in the development of the original Godzilla of the Monsterverse, so Godzilla 2014. Now, in terms of the overall design of Rokmutul, there's not an awful lot which we can say, there's not an awful lot which we can glean from the creature. Rokmutul clearly resembles more of an ankylosaurus type of creature, or a titan. If he is to be included in the Monsterverse, could it be some throwback to a prehistoric sort of world and kaijus that are out there, titans? Yes, absolutely. There were some people that thought he resembled Anguirus, and yeah, it does sort of, but overall it's more of an ankylosaurus design. The spines which run down its back, and obviously has quite a heavy armor and appearance, really does lean itself more to an ankylosaurus design. In terms of the body underneath the scales, it's not ankylosaurus in design. It almost actually looks a bit crocodilian, more so than any other form of reptile. And contrary to the ankylosaurus, the spines that run down the tail of Rokmutul resemble more of a stegosaurus rather than an ankylosaurus. Now, it has 6 legs, which is interesting because a lot of people had thought that Rokmutul was the creature shown in the Comic-Con footage for Godzilla 2014, which was nicknamed Vishnu. Now, that particular creature had 8 legs, so it is difficult to say whether this was taken from that, but because of course it was part of the early development stages as the Rokmutul was submitted, you can imagine that they probably just chucked it in there and didn't want to put too much detail on it, and that's probably where they got the design from. Now, there is no history behind this creature, there is no specific lore. There was some concept art which showed Rokmutul fighting a very dinosaur-looking Godzilla atop Alcatraz in San Francisco, but outside of that, there's nothing else known about this creature, which is exactly why I reached out to Josh Nizzi himself, just to ask, just to see what was what the design process was behind this creature, whether he could tell me anything about it. But unfortunately, like I said, he has declined to comment. And what I will say now is, I genuinely do believe that Rokmutul is the Mountain Kaiju in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. If we look at the design choice and the kind of stylistic elements to Rokmutul, especially around the face, let's disregard the overall body, but let's look at the face. We can clearly see spines running from what I guess you could say is the nose upwards. And if we look at the Mountain Kaiju, again, very similar. Adapted ever so slightly. If it is Rokmutul, it has been adjusted and adapted, but we have to remember that this was a concept art. I firmly believe that they've either taken Rokmutul as a design and just adjusted it, and it probably will be called something completely different, or they have asked Josh Nizzi to redesign it and chuck it into Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, one of the things I do find particularly interesting about the Mountain Kaiju in Godzilla King of the Monsters is bottom left-hand corner, as we see a more zoomed in picture of this Mountain Kaiju. This is what I think personally is the most interesting part. It actually says Monarch Outpost 67. Now, if we head on over to monarchsciences.com and we look at the outposts there, there's only about 20 odd from the top of my head, which poses an interesting question. How many Titans are planned for this universe? Because of course we've already seen 2 unnamed Titans in the TV spot The Time Has Come, and both of them, obviously we've got this one in particular, Rokmutul-esque design, and then we had what a lot of people were speculating to be Kumongo, the spider kaiju coming out of the oil field, where of course there is Monarch trucks driving past. Now it does lead one to question exactly how many Titans are we going to be getting in this universe. I think personally we're probably not going to be getting any more in the Godzilla King of the Monsters. I would imagine that these 2 in particular will be shown very briefly, or they will be used as cannon fodder just to demonstrate how powerful the other kaiju are in the film, or should I say Titans. I wouldn't imagine there's going to be any monsters featured very heavily or very prominently outside of the main 4. What I do believe though is Legendary's being very smart with the Monsterverse that they've established here, is that potentially what we're going to be seeing is a rise of other monsters which they've established, they've created, their own Titans, their own Kaiju, and I think that is what is going to be leading the charge moving forwards, because we're sort of aware that the Toho deal will be ending in 2021 or 2022, I believe. So it does ask the question, you know, what's going to happen after that when Godzilla is no longer under the Legendary belt? If that is the case, well, Legendary can happily and very easily just continue the universe with their own kaiju, their own Titans that they've established. Unless, of course, there's a clause in the Toho rights deal that, you know, means that they can't. But I would imagine that they potentially could, and that this is sowing the seeds of that, which is very smart of Legendary. You got to remember that Legendary and Warner Bros are doing kind of co-productions on this, or at least Warner Bros is the distributing studio. So they're being very smart with how they're handling the world and how they've been building it up. You know, regardless of what you believe of the Godzilla 2014, the hype is there for Godzilla King of the Monsters. It really is, which goes to show how smart they've been. Everyone is really excited for this. So it's incredibly unlikely they're going to want to stop the freight train of hype that is going on. So with this being Monarch Outpost 67, I would imagine what we're seeing here is the seeds being sown of the future of the Monsterverse. And this, I genuinely believe, is Rokmutul. If we're looking at the design language itself really does show that. Like I said, the fact that Josh Nizzi doesn't want to comment as well does to me indicate that there's potentially a reason why, and that reason why is this is Rokmutul, and he doesn't want to irritate anyone at the studio. So that's my personal thoughts on this. Sorry if I've reiterated anything that anyone has said. I know there's been a lot of videos floating around about this. This video's kind of been in the works for some time because I was waiting for Josh Nizzi to reply, but unfortunately he chose not to. So that's why this video has been late. But anyway guys, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think that this is potentially Rokmutul? And would you be surprised if this is Legendary sowing the seeds of the future of the Monsterverse? I know a lot of people are really irritated by the thought that Godzilla could die in Godzilla vs. Kong or any of those movies and things like that. A lot of people just say, look, money talks, is absolutely going to happen. Toho will definitely leave Godzilla with Legendary. I wouldn't be so sure. Would I like it if they did? Yeah, of course. But I wouldn't be so sure. So it's worth posing the question to the contrary. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. As always, if you are new here, please do hit subscribe. Stay up to date on all the world of pop culture and movie news by smashing that bell notification icon. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and a share. I've Missed Age. Take care.